When Kody Brown demanded purity from his daughter's boyfriend, he never imagined this, a once united family torn apart by his own rules. A father's belief in chastity, a family's desperate fight for freedom. Can one man's controlling demand truly tear them apart forever? Part 1. It began like every other family moment, a father protecting his daughter. But this time, protection came with a contract, a vow of chastity. Christine. Kody always said love should be sacred, but sometimes it felt like control disguised as care. The Brown family's roots lie deep in fundamental Mormon beliefs, chastity, modesty, and moral boundaries. But after years of heartbreak, divorce, and public scrutiny, Kody's message began to sound less spiritual and more authoritarian. When Kody told his daughter's boyfriend to stay chaste until marriage, the internet erupted. Kody, if you love my daughter, you'll wait. That's how real men prove discipline. What was meant as advice quickly became a family flashpoint. Sources close to the Browns say Kody referenced his own chaste courtship with Robyn, a story he's told for years as proof of his faith. Robyn, we wanted to do it right. We didn't kiss until marriage. It was beautiful. But critics saw hypocrisy, a man who'd long preached plural love, now demanding purity from a teenager. Was this really about faith, or Kody's fading control over his fractured family? Christine. He's trying to rewrite the rules, but the kids aren't buying it anymore. Over the last few years, Kody's household has crumbled. Christine left in 2021. Janelle followed. Even Meri stepped away. What remains is a shrinking kingdom held together by tradition and Robyn. For Kody, chastity wasn't just about morality. It was about restoring order. But his daughters? They saw something far different. He's policing his daughter's love life. Isn't this emotional manipulation? Robyn was treated like a queen. Now he wants everyone to follow her example? Within hours, hashtags like #ChastityRule and #FreeTheBrownKids trended nationwide. Even Sister Wives' most loyal fans questioned Kody's motives. He's blending purity culture with patriarchal control, and the modern audience sees right through it. What Kody called discipline, America called domination. But then came the twist no one saw coming. It wasn't about his daughter's boyfriend. It was about Robyn's sons and how Kody felt betrayed that they didn't follow his rules. Kody's chastity ultimatum wasn't aimed at one boy. It was a symbolic act of reclaiming moral control. He wanted the younger generation to mirror his version of faith, loyalty, and discipline. But that revelation shattered his image further. Christine, he forgot love isn't proven by control. It's proven by freedom. And that's when fans turned from sympathy to revolt. The chastity vow has left the Browns divided. Some say Kody is holding on to what little power he has left. Others argue he's simply misunderstood, a father clinging to faith in a modern, skeptical world. Robyn. He's just trying to keep the family safe. That's all he's ever wanted. But safety and control often walk a thin line, and Kody's walk is lonelier than ever. In the name of chastity, he may have lost the one thing he wanted most: connection. What do you think, was Kody standing up for values, or crossing the line into control? Comment below your thoughts. Part 2. For years, fans of Sister Wives have watched Kody Brown's family grow, but recently, the cracks have begun to show. More than just marital tension, Kody's self-absorbed actions have started to deeply affect his children, especially Aurora. Kody, I love Robyn. She's my partner, and that comes first. But Kody's devotion to Robyn has left little room for his other children, with one daughter's special moment, with her boyfriend becoming the latest casualty. What happens when a father becomes so consumed by his own love life, he forgets the needs of his children? Kody. You know, this is a family matter. We can't just have moments like this in my house. It was supposed to be a moment of joy, a quiet evening between Aurora and her boyfriend. But instead, Kody's selfish need for attention overruled their chance to connect. Aurora. Dad, we're just talking. Kody's constant intrusion into his children's personal lives has become a pattern. His need to be the center of attention, to make every situation about him, leaves little room for his kids to be heard or seen. Is Kody's obsession with his relationship with Robyn causing him to neglect the very family he's sworn to protect? While Kody's relationship with Robyn has been a constant source of drama, it is their unshakable unity that's pushing the rest of the family aside. Christine. It's like everything is about Kody and Robyn. It's hard to have your own space when they're always together. And it's not just the wives feeling the strain. Kody's children, especially his older daughters, are becoming increasingly frustrated with their father's favoritism and his constant need to be the focus of attention. When a father neglects his kids for the sake of his own happiness, how does the family heal? Kody is a narcissist. Everything has to revolve around him. It's heartbreaking to watch a father ignore his own children for a relationship. Robyn isn't the only one affected by Kody's selfishness. His kids are too. The fans have had enough. The backlash against Kody's self-centered behavior is louder than ever. No longer just a family issue, this has become a cultural conversation, and it's one that Kody can't ignore. What's happening with Kody is a textbook example of emotional neglect. He's hyper-focused on Robyn and himself, leaving his children's needs in the dust. The tide is turning. Fans are turning against Kody, and the backlash is just beginning. But the truth is, Kody's selfishness goes far beyond just the occasional outburst. His neglect is taking a toll on his children in ways we haven't even begun to understand. Aurora. I just don't feel seen anymore. It's like, no matter how hard I try, it's never enough. What Kody doesn't realize is that his need for control is causing irreversible damage to the relationships with his kids. Aurora, once a hopeful young woman, is now just one of many children feeling overlooked. Could Kody's selfish actions be the beginning of the end for his relationship with his children? As the consequences of his actions mount, Kody is left to confront the reality of what he's done. Will he take accountability and repair his fractured relationships? Or will he continue down the path of self-destruction? Robyn, Kody, you need to realize what's at stake. It's not just us anymore, it's the whole family. For Kody, the question remains, can he rebuild the family he's broken, or is it too late? Selfishness in a father is a wound that runs deep, but some wounds can heal, if there's enough time left. What do you think? Has Kody gone too far, or is he simply lost in his own emotional turmoil? Comment below and let us know what you think. Let's deep dive in full details. Part 3. It started with one rule, a single commandment, that would fracture an already fragile family. Kody, you'll wait. Purity before marriage, that's the only way to honor this family. Kody's unyielding demand for chastity wasn't just about values, it was about control. A way to assert dominance after years of crumbling relationships and the growing influence of his youngest wife, Robyn. Christine. Kody always thought that control was love, but it was just a way to make sure he was the one leading, not the kids, not the wives, him. But was this really about faith, or was it Kody trying to reclaim something he was losing? The turning point came when Aurora tried to share a quiet, intimate moment with her boyfriend. A moment that should have been celebrated. But Kody walked in, making everything about himself. Kody, this is my house, my rules. You won't be doing this under my roof. Aurora's special moment wasn't about defiance. It was about love, connection, and independence. But for Kody, it was yet another opportunity to remind everyone of his authority. Aurora, I just wanted a moment with him. But Dad made it clear that my happiness wasn't as important as his rules. What happens when a father's need for control suffocates his children's ability to grow and love? To understand this moment, we must understand Kody's growing obsession with control, especially after the fallout with his other wives. Kody's relationship with his wives had already fractured. Christine left. Janelle followed. Meri, disillusioned, stepped away. What remained was Kody's isolation and a need to prove his dominance in whatever way he could, even through chastity. Robyn. He's just trying to protect the family, and this is the way he knows how to do it. But to Kody's other children, this didn't feel like protection. It felt like oppression. His fixation on Robyn's loyalty only deepened the divide between him and his other kids. Could Kody's obsession with Robyn and control be the true root of his family's downfall? As Kody's actions grew more controlling, the internet exploded in backlash. Fans who once admired the Brown family began to question Kody's motives. Kody isn't a father, he's a tyrant. Aurora deserves more than this. He's ruining her life for his ego. It's about control, not love. The backlash wasn't just about one rule. It was about years of emotional neglect and the erosion of family bonds in the name of Kody's selfishness. What we're seeing with Kody is textbook narcissism. He's become so focused on maintaining power that he's lost sight of the emotional needs of his children. The more Kody tried to control, the more the family fought back. But the question remains, is it too late to save what's left? The truth behind Kody's chastity demand is far more disturbing than anyone imagined. Kody wasn't just trying to protect Aurora. He was using this rule as a way to control Robyn's children, to make them obey him the way she does. It wasn't about faith. It was about power. Kody's demand for chastity was never about purity. It was about holding on to the last semblance of control in a family that had already slipped from his grasp. Christine. He thought if he controlled their relationships, he could control everything. But that never works. It only pushes people further away. Was Kody's demand about love, or was it about proving that he was still in charge? The family Kody tried to control is now scattered. The ones who stayed found new paths. The ones who left did so to find themselves. It's a shame. Kody's need for control broke his family. Aurora deserved better. She still deserves better. Maybe it's time Kody learned what love really means without the rules. Kody's reign of control may have started with a rule about chastity, but it ended with a family broken and children who had no choice but to step away. In the end, no amount of control can heal a broken family, and love, when forced, isn't love at all. The impact of Kody's actions wasn't just felt by Aurora. Each wife had their own personal reactions to Kody's behavior, and over time, those feelings began to build up. Christine, once the strong backbone of the family, started to question whether she had been too willing to submit to his control. Christine, at first, I thought Kody's rules were just part of his faith, something to hold us together. But slowly, I realized it was about him wanting power. Every time he made one of those demands, it felt like a little more of me was being chipped away. Janelle, who often kept a more reserved attitude, was also feeling the strain of Kody's selfish behavior. Her quiet demeanor hid the emotional toll of living under Kody's rule, a toll that would eventually lead to her own departure from the family. Janelle, I stayed quiet because I thought it was for the greater good, but in the end, I felt invisible. It's like my happiness didn't matter anymore. Meri, always trying to play peacemaker, began to realize the emotional manipulation that was going on. She could no longer turn a blind eye to the fact that Kody wasn't the man he once appeared to be. Meri, Kody was always about the family, but now it was like his ego was more important than anything else. As Kody's selfishness became more apparent, fans of Sister Wives began voicing their frustrations louder than ever before. What started as simple discussions on social media exploded into widespread outrage. Kody's actions were no longer just a family matter. They became a national conversation about control, love, and family dynamics. It's like Kody views his children as extensions of himself, rather than independent people with their own needs. The way he treats Aurora, it's heartbreaking. Reddit and Twitter were flooded with fans sharing their reactions. Many of them expressed anger at Kody's overreaching behavior. What began as sympathy for a man struggling with a complicated family dynamic turned into a harsh critique of his treatment of his own children. I used to root for Kody, but he's lost it. He needs therapy more than he needs a second wife. One fan went as far as to create a petition demanding that TLC stop airing the show, arguing that the portrayal of Kody's toxic behavior was setting a poor example for viewers. This petition gained thousands of signatures in just a few days. Could the Backlash actually have the power to end Kody's reign over the Sister Wives franchise? To understand Kody's behavior, we need to look beyond just the surface. We spoke with leading psychologists who analyzed Kody's actions through the lens of narcissism and control. Kody's behavior is a classic example of narcissistic personality traits. His need to control not just his wives, but his children shows a deep insecurity. When Kody felt his authority slipping, he doubled down, trying to tighten his grip on what little control he had left, especially over his daughter, Aurora, who represented the last untainted part of his family. Experts believe that Kody's control over his children's relationships wasn't just about moral beliefs, but rather an attempt to dominate the narrative of the family. He needed to prove he was still in charge. Could this narcissistic drive be the reason Kody lost everything? His behavior was not just controlling, it was deeply manipulative. Behind the cameras, things weren't as simple as they seemed. Crew members from the Sister Wives show revealed that Kody's need to be the star often clashed with the natural dynamics of the family. When we filmed, there were often times when Kody demanded certain shots, and if it didn't portray him as the center of attention, he'd ask for it to be reshot. It wasn't just about the story, it was about him making sure people saw him the way he wanted. The manipulation Kody displayed on camera extended beyond the family. He was trying to control the narrative, to ensure the audience only saw him as a father figure, not as the egotistical man that fans were starting to see. But did Kody ever realize the damage this constant self-promotion was doing to his relationships? Could the show's fame have turned him into someone unrecognizable? Aurora, once the bright-eyed daughter of Kody, found herself in the center of a storm she never asked for. Her relationship with her boyfriend was disrupted by her father's overbearing nature, and the emotional toll took its toll on her mental health. Aurora, it's hard hard to love someone when they make you feel like you're doing something wrong all the time. I thought my dad would support me, but instead, I just felt suffocated. Kody's actions didn't just affect Aurora's relationship with her boyfriend. They shaped her views on love and family. How could she trust someone when the one person she should rely on had let her down in the most personal way? Did Kody ever realize how deeply he wounded his own daughter, or was his need for control all-consuming? In the final confrontation, Kody was faced with the broken pieces of his family. As the dust settled, he was forced to confront the emotional cost of his actions. For the first time, the man who once prided himself on his power had to face the consequences of his decisions. Kody, I didn't understand. I thought I was doing what was best. But now I see, the family I wanted to protect, I've hurt them more than I've helped them. But was it too late to undo the damage? The wounds Kody caused ran deep, and healing would take more than just words. Could Kody ever repair the emotional devastation he's caused, or was this the final blow to a family already at breaking point? Kody's actions are a painful reminder that control and love cannot coexist. His story is not just a tale of one man's power struggle. It's a reflection of a larger societal issue, the balance between authority and freedom within families. Many families experience the push and pull between love and control. Kody's behavior is an extreme example, but the underlying dynamics can be found in households across the world. The question is, how do we heal when the lines between protection and manipulation are blurred? Kody Brown's family, once a symbol of unconventional love, is now a cautionary tale of what happens when control is mistaken for care. What do you think, was Kody justified in demanding chastity, or was this the last straw in his family's collapse? Comment your thoughts below. Like if you believe Aurora deserves more. Subscribe and stay tuned for our next deep dive into Kody's final betrayal. What's next for the sister wives family? Time =2S.